Hi everyone. I would like to share today from the deepest space and silence and really communion within myself, with the Dark Mother, with Source, whatever you want to name, whatever that deepest foundation is within you right now. That is where I would love you to ground yourself as I'm sharing, so that we can journey together and you can journey really in intimacy with your deepest self through your own inner environment. So just take a moment just to tune in to your inner environment. Have your eyes open or closed, whatever feels organic for you. When I do that, the first thing I notice is a very deep level of darkness everywhere. There's no difference between what feels like my inner and outer, or my body and the environment. So I'm just taking a moment just to really let that darkness take the stage, let myself as the one exploring deepen into what that is. But for you, it may feel like there is not a layer of darkness available. It may feel, you can tune into what feels calm and still or silent in relationship to your body. You can just feel for where softness or silence meets your skin, your body. Even if you as the one that's feeling or noticing is not experiencing itself in communion with that silence or darkness, just really letting any separations be there, letting things be as they are, letting sensations, emotions, thoughts, energy, movements, letting it all be there, allowing. And then again, noticing what is calm and still inside or around my body, or where is the deepest darkness in relationship to my body right now. And then just breathing, letting the breath breathe how it wants to breathe, inclusive of any holding in the breath, any stuckness. We can often put so much focus on the activity of our inner space. It can be really sweet just to turn your attention immediately to that ground of silence or calm or darkness, if it's available. Darkness is really the expression or the naming of the absolute. And in our work, really that as a foundation can deepen into revelations of the absolute that isn't just the absolute. There is another depth of revelation of what we may call the source of all creation, the Dark Mother. So when we presence that foundation, whatever it is for you, whatever name you want to give it, and let that be in the same space as what is active and moving, we are providing the deepest container really for phenomena, for the changing to change and reorganize itself according to nature. Because really that darkness is what is midwifing all change, all transformation. So as you are settling into that space, you can even pause the video if you like. If you would like more time, just grounding into silence or darkness through the body, letting activity settle as it comes into greater communion with that foundation. And then when you're ready, you can just listen and receive my sharing from that space so that you can journey with yourself and you can leave out anything that doesn't resonate, anything that you can't hear, that doesn't feel relevant, and you can take in what does. And above all, anything that I name, you can journey with your own inner unfolding, seeing what it alights in you. So one of the strongest messages in a way, and it's unusual for me to use the word message. I don't really consider myself a channeler, or I have really more of a deeper foundation of and focus of embodying true nature. But today I am noticing this invitation. And the invitation is really simple. And I'd like you just to feel into your inner space as I name it and see what it alights in you. And that is to trust in the light of awareness. So just seeing what that stirs in your inner environment, whether it's trust or not, whatever arises for you through the invitation, that is what you be with. If you notice a lack of trust or a question, what is the light of awareness, or what am I trusting, or what am I? I'd like you just to follow your own natural unfolding. What does the invitation alight in you? Trust in the light of awareness. So I notice that I am sharing from what feels like a very high level of unification. So the naming of the trust or the invitation feels very embedded within myself, with the unification of what I am, the light of awareness and the darkness from which the light arises. So my experience of light and dark feel very dissolved into one another. And the effect within me is one of deep peace, Santosha, contentment, very, very deep inner peace. Maybe even the word equanimity matches the neutrality embedded within the fulfillment there. We're living in such turbulent times, and really what we have known trust or confidence or fulfillment to be is going to naturally be challenged. And I'd like you to receive those challenges, or I have noticed when I have in myself, when I receive those challenges as invitations to deepen and face the uncertainty of the unknown, there is a continual claiming of the spiritual initiation and passage that really doesn't allow the dramas of the world stage to hijack your initiatory processes. You kind of allow the fuel and fodder of what is unfolding around you to alight in you greater levels of strength, resilience, courage that can only really be forged through the meeting of our vulnerabilities, of our fears, of our worst case scenarios. And most of those vulnerabilities and fears and worst case scenarios are really the ghosts of the past that are calling to be released, to be the memory of trauma of the past is calling to be healed so that it can, so that Santosha, so that the deepest inner peace and equanimity of being can be restored everywhere. The indigenous people of North America often speak about how when we do ancestral healing, we are healing for 7 generations to come. And I feel that statement only touches the surface of the impact of any healing that is done from a foundation of source remembering. So we're in these turbulent times. There are many challenges alight, depending on where you are in the world and the conditions that are constantly changing. And if you can tend to the inner flame, the light of awareness, and knowing that the perfect condition for that flame to flourish and grow is silence. Then no matter what obstacle gets placed on your path and what worst case scenario might attempt to form itself, if you maintain that devotion to the cultivation of the light of awareness, you will come out victorious. So I'm curious to know what arises for you through the invitation to trust the light of awareness. I am not implying that you mentally, this is not about an affirmation or a mental statement, trying to be somewhere that you're not. I want to know what that alights in you, because trust and kind of the faith in God and the faith in godliness is really something we develop through through continual surrender, through cultivating deeper and deeper acceptance and allowance of ourselves, within ourselves, of the changing nature of existence. But there's a point where the self, the small self, the sense of I or me, will make a passage of surrender back into its own source. And the effect of that communion is an inherent, essential trust. It is not something that you need to do anything to have, that you need to hold on to. It is really intimate to your deepest communion with your own source, with your own divinity, with your own godliness. So even when all the lights go out, when we plunge into the deepest darkness, if you can make that passage, incubate yourself, develop and cultivate allowing, cultivate inner silence, be impeccable in your exploration of identification, heal your trauma, tend to the details of your life in a way that allows you the luxury of the spiritual path, because it is a luxury to have time to sit and meditate. It is a luxury that I feel is our birthright. It should not be exclusively for the elite and wealthy, those in Western countries. And I revel in that luxury. I revel in the spaciousness of my life that allows me to make the journey. So carve out time and space for yourself to make the journey in a way that feels organic to you, in a way that honors the rhythm of your life. And really, within the invitation for the deepest cultivation of surrender, there's really nowhere you can go into any hell realm, any worst case scenarios, any experience. And if you let yourself have that experience and truly surrender there, the light of awareness will reveal itself anew within replacing the Maya of the phenomena at hand and offering up the fruits of what has been restored. I just wanted to share a little bit from this space today, aware that it is, as we approach Christmas, which for many can feel like a really sacred inner moment, in a time to come home to the great mother void, this time of deepest darkness, and this time in which there is a celebration of, in the unseen, there is a celebration and an availability of the light of awareness that can be that can express itself through Christ consciousness, which isn't about some spiritual figure or religious ideal. It's about a level of a seed that was sown through an enlightened healer that walked this earth, and offering up a pathway, a remembering. And that remembering is available to us all in this time. So I wish you all a blessed journey through the next weeks. And for those of you with the luxury of silent spaces to deepen in, I will meet you there. And I'm feeling some excitement for the new year and the unfolding to come. I feel we have gone through the eye of the needle as a collective, and even though there is an obvious amplification of tyranny at a dense societal governance level in many places, it really just feels like a response to the energies of liberation, the freedom that is being gained and cultivated, whatever that is within someone's life. You know, freedom needs to be forged and realized at every level of being, from society to culture to the deepest spiritual, really all that, you know, in order for the spiritual liberation to culminate, there needs to be a level of freedom within form. And so the events of the last years is all part of this mass awakening. And it can be challenging to see the fruits of that tree, because it is there's also cycles of intensity and chaos. And within that, many falls need to happen within ourselves in order to truly rise within ourselves, as the only revolution is the inner revolution. Awakening is the only revolution. All other revolutions are projections out of that inner unfolding, because when you get to the truth of it all, what is unfolding on the world stage is inherently empty, and how you appear within that is inherently empty. And what is interesting to me is, what is it that remains? What is actual? And then as that moving, breathing actuality what is it that culminates in the face of the unfolding around us, within us? What does that look like in the face of a mandate or a new law, or a tax system, or whatever it is you feel you have freed yourself from? How do you creatively experience that now? And that is what gives way to the new earth. That is we need to culminate and develop the true substances of creation and become living, breathing symphonies and expressions of that divine, awakened, true self, true nature. So I wish you a blessed few weeks. I have a new group with Disa Sophia forming starting in January. And if anyone is feeling resonant with our work, you are warmly welcome to connect with us, and we can send you the details and the invitation so you can tune in to your resonance with it. It is a 3-month wave that then, as you choose or not choose, can lead into a sequence of waves delivering the deeper initiations of our work. For now, wishing you much love, many blessings, and thank you for journeying with me.